Is this recording? Okay, it's recording. This meeting is called to order at 10:32 a.m. Hi, everyone. Amy, I will hand it over to you for roll call.
Okay, so President Naomi
Present.
and VP Ramses. K President Mark,
Present.
Director Legislative Affairs Jacob,
Present.
Director of Finance Armajit, Director of Public Relations Nick, Director of Activities Amon,
Present.
Directors of Communication Amy, present. Directors, Senator David,
Here.
Senator Souley,
Present.
Senator Rachel,
Present.
Senator Reed,
Present.
Senator Stacy,
Present.
Senator Mary Kay, Senator Hamza, Senator Beheshta, Senator Sasha,
Present.
Senator Afsoon, and Senator Oscar.
Present.
Okay.
Actually, one thing, sorry, I forgot to say, Senator Hamza is excused absence.
Okay. And that's it.
I'm present. Ramses is here.
Okay.
So now you would say this many members are present out of the total membership, and then we announce whether quorum has been met or not.
So 14 members out of 19 is present.
Then yes, we have met quorum. Woo! Awesome. Okay, thank you, Amy. With that, we will move on to the adoption of the agenda. So if you can take a look at the agenda, you'll find it on the website. On the homepage, it's not under Senate archives yet. So take a look at it and we can get it approved. Thanks, Brett. Okay, if there are no objections, the agenda will be approved. Hearing and seeing none, the agenda is approved. Moving on to approval of the minutes. I sent that out in an email earlier. I hope you guys all saw it. So if you can take a look at it at this time. Okay, if there are no objections, the minutes will be approved. Hearing and seeing none, we will approve the minutes. And now we move on to chair message. Good morning, everybody. Let's see. I've got a couple of things today. Most of them have to do with the deadline to register to vote. That's October 19th. That's register to vote online, by the way. You can still register in person. If you register on the day that you're voting in person, you will get a conditional ballot, which heightens the chance that your vote will not be counted. So I'd recommend registering online. And you can do that at vote.org, where you can also check your registration. You can also find a polling place. For the future, you can also become a poll worker. I'll be a poll worker this year, so I'm really excited. You can fill out the census, and the deadline is now, was moved back to October 31st. And I think, I know I've received my ballot in the mail, so I'm guessing a lot of you that are eligible to vote and registered to vote will have received that in the mail this year too. For propositions, I would recommend checking out calmatters.org and cavotes.org, as they're both are sites that can help you understand what the propositions are. They'll break down the information, analyze it a bit, and give you different supporting views on both sides, as well as links to check out the actual supporters and opposers websites. Yeah, that is most of my information. So I'm really excited about that. If you guys want to learn more about some of this, feel free to hit me up after the meeting. Chair message over. Okay, Brett, go ahead for advisor's message.
All right, y'all. Hi, aloha. Happy Friday. Sounds like everything went well last week with Hannah as your interim advisor. So she's one of my best friends in the district. So when the opportunity arose, I asked her because she missed working with students. So hopefully it went well. So a couple things. The first one is this weekend, eServices is going to have an update. And starting Monday, students will be able to select their pronouns on eServices, their preferred pronouns. So that will go into eServices, Canvas, and the professors' rosters. So you can self-select your own pronouns. So baby steps, but progress. Dr. Mitchell, who's a psychology teacher at ARC, kind of spearheaded that. So shout out to her for working on that. Took a while, but got it. I sent you all, the board members, an email. The Board of Trustees meeting is Wednesday at 5:30. So if you're not busy, you just hop in there. They have the link on their on the Board of Trustees website. I emailed it out too. It looks a little bit different than your meetings, but it's still good to see. Excuse me. Still good to see how they do their board. And you also get to see what's going on at the district level and what's being discussed. And Wednesday's agenda has this year's budget. So it ought to be an interesting discussion. So I encourage you all to check it out. You do have to attend one meeting for the year, as in the Constitution. So you don't need to, someone asked, do I need to send a screenshot or whatever? Just report back at the following meeting, like, hey, I attended the Board of Trustees meeting. Here's what I took away from it, or here's what they discussed, something like that. If you haven't been contacted yet for any campus or district committees, shoot me an email today so I can follow up. I know, Jacob, I'm working on yours for financial aid. But if anyone else hasn't received an email yet, please let me know. Y'all need to be in those Zoom meetings when those discussions are taking place. And if you've been appointed and they're having those meetings, then that's not right. So please let me know. The other advisors are discussing, typically we have like a fall SLADE conference. SLADE is like the district's student life supervisors. We're running behind because a lot of us have a bazillion things on our plate right now. Typically it's in October. And as you all know, it's already almost halfway through October. So we're trying to figure out if that's really the best use of everyone's time to sit through another 4 hours of training. So if you have ideas about what you might want to be trained on district-wide, you could shoot me a message. We might do like a boutique type thing where, 12 to 1, come through to learn about how to write a bill, something like that, instead of everyone show up for 4 hours. So any ideas y'all have would be great. And then the last thing, Naomi already mentioned it, but please, please, please make sure if you're willing and able, you're registered to vote. The 19th is the deadline, and Naomi kind of explained the process. So please do that. I'm in the process of getting something on the ARC website, an actual link where students can just click, boom, register to vote. So trying to make it as accessible as possible for everyone. Last thing, I am in my new house finally. So there's boxes galore behind me. I kind of edited my screen so you don't see all the boxes, but I will be in and out this next week. I will be in next Friday's Senate meeting, but just know if you email me, I might not get right back to you as I'll be unloading stuff still. So that's all I have. So I will turn it back over to Naomi. Thank you.
Amy, I just sent out the links for stuff that I talked about during my chair message. If you could add those to the minutes, that'd be great. Okay. I also wanted to go over something I left out of the chair message. We're lucky to have a member of the current here today. So, it's really exciting to have them here. Okay, moving on to public comment. This time is reserved for members of the public to address the Student Senate on issues not already appearing on the agenda. A limit of 2 minutes per speaker shall be observed with a maximum of 4 minutes per topic. No discussion is allotted on public comment. The law does not permit any action to be taken nor extended discussion of any items not on the agenda. The ASB Student Senate may briefly respond to statements made for questions posed. However, for further information, please contact the ASB Student Senate President for the item of discussion to be placed on a future agenda. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to make a comment? I see your hand. Go ahead, Urvis.
Thank you, Naomi. So my name is Urvis Orozco. I am writing for The Current, our school newspaper at ARC. And I am writing an article about the propositions and why we're supporting them. I sat down with Naomi yesterday, and even though the interview it went well, we want to hear a different side, just so we're not only just putting one-sided issues on the ballot. So I am outreaching to see if anybody wants to put in their viewpoints. How do I put this lightly? We want to see a little bit more of the conservative side, just so we're not one-sided on one issue. Naomi is liberal, so I would like to hear somebody else on the other side as well. If anybody is willing to do that, it'd be about maybe 15 to 20 minutes. We just go over all the ballot propositions, perhaps even the presidential election, and seeing why you guys are choosing the folks and the bylaws that are put up during this upcoming election. So I will send my information out. If anybody wants to outreach to me, I will send a chat with my phone number and email information so people could outreach to me. If you could outreach to me today, that would be great. I can do it over the weekend or by Monday. I'd like to perhaps have this done Monday or Tuesday as well. So, but hopefully this weekend, and as I mentioned, we can just have this conversation via Zoom. I'll just record it via my phone, and it'd be out probably next week.
Thank you, Urvis. I want to add a note on that. If you are interested in doing something like this, you would be answering as an individual student. You would not be answering as a member of the Student Senate or as a Student Senate representative. Thank you, Urvis.
Yes, and I'm sorry, just to add on that. So I am interviewing Naomi as a student. I'm not interviewing her as like member of your leadership body. So if anybody else, that'd be the case as well. And I'm going to make that lightly on there, just so there's no issues or problems arising from that. Okay.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public who wishes to make a comment? Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to appointments and swearing in. We don't have any appointments and swearing in. The position, though, for Director of Finance is vacated now. So, Amy, if you could have that in the minutes, that'd be great. And really, that's all I have under appointments and swearing in. So, moving on to unfinished business, we have none. Moving on to new business. Yeah, thumbs up. Our first item under new business is our timely MD presentation. So I will hand that over to Pamela Whipple.
Thank you, Naomi. Hello, good morning. Happy Friday. Woo, woo. I'm a very casual presenter, by the way, so that's just how I roll. I'm Pam Whipple. I'm one of your college nurses. There's 2 of us in the Health and Wellness Center. If you've been around a little while, you may have come by and see me sometime, or my colleague, or stop by the Health Center for supplies. And unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, right before we went remote, we opened a brand new health center on campus in the student center that's gorgeous. It's the best one in the district. Okay, but it's brand new, so you know, there's that. And I also helped design it, so I'm going to say that. I'm going to be biased about that. So it's a really nice place. And I hope when we get back on the ground, if you haven't seen it, that you come by to see it. Although with all the restrictions in place now, probably not a lot of people are going to be floating around campus in general, but then also not in the health center. But what we're trying to do is kind of reproduce what we were doing on the ground in the brick and mortar setting to remote services. One thing that we needed to do was to provide some services remotely, as far as connecting students with providers, mainly physicians. When we were on the ground, you know, we have a relatively new health fee. I don't know if y'all know that or you noticed that when you pay your fees. If you've been around for a while, then you might have noticed that, hey, now that we have this $20 health fee in fall and spring semester, not summer. And what are we doing? What's the district doing with that money? So that money is still coming in, right? You're still paying the health fee, but we're remote. And so in May, I think it was May, we signed a contract. The district signed a contract with this vendor, Timely MD, to provide telehealth services. So just like if you are a member of Sutter Health or Mercy or Dignity, it's called Dignity now, or Kaiser, then you have telehealth services. You can contact a physician on your phone, on your laptop, whatever. Well, not everyone has health insurance. Not everyone is connected with a healthcare system. And sometimes even if you do, sometimes
Pamela, I don't know if I think you might have your screen frozen right now.
all froze for a second and I'm like, am I frozen? Did I freeze just now?
Yeah.
Okay, you all were frozen, sorry. So we really didn't know what was going on in those early days of COVID, and we wanted to get things out to students as quickly as possible. So the district has re-signed that contract. We have a new contract now. It is going to, our kickoff for that is going to be on October 28th, district-wide. So you should be seeing promotions on our social media outlets. You should be seeing them in your student emails about what is currently called Timely MD. And in a minute, I'll show my screen and I'll show you where to find it on our website. It's probably going to be called something different. By the way, Naomi, if I missed something in the chat, will you please tell me? Because it's sometimes I can't do both at the same time. Just say, hey, Pam, there's a question in the chat. So, so it's probably going to be called something different. I don't know exactly what that's going to be. I've heard, this is a rumor, that it's going to be called Los Rios Telehealth. I don't know if that's true or not, because that information hasn't arrived to me yet. But know that we still have the Timely MD links. It's still called Timely MD or campus.health by Timely MD. Right now, students can use it now. But you know, at the end of the month, there's going to be changes that are going to be communicated to everyone. And it may be called a different thing. So when you see that, you can say, hey, yeah, that's what Pam was talking about. That's the telehealth services that all the students in the district can use. And we're really happy to be able to say that because resources are kind of scarce. And I'm sure you've all figured that out on your own. And so to be able to say that a health service is available to every single student in the district feels really good, because sometimes we couldn't even say that when we were on the ground. So instead of having doctors or nurse practitioners or whatever in our campus health centers, now we have
Oh no, you're not frozen now, but your sound has cut off.
oh, now you're frozen. Did I freeze again?
Yeah, you did, but you're good now. You're back.
Okay, because you all are kind of frozen. Okay, can I share my screen? Do I have that permission?
I think so.
Host disabled participant screen.
Okay, hang on. Okay, try now. Let's see if that works.
That was a different thing I usually see.
Yay.
Okay, that's not, hopefully this will work. That's a different looking screen than I've had before, but I'm gonna figure it out, don't worry. All right, so gonna go, now I can't see what you all see. Can you see my, the American River College Health and Wellness?
If you scroll, we see American River College, and I think it's the Health and Wellness. We don't see the
Okay,
title.
okay, you see a stethoscope
Yeah,
there?
it's the Health and Wellness Center.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so if you're going to remember one thing from what I say today, remember this basically. Go to the Health and Wellness website. So if you go on to American River College website, you can go over here to the little search thingy there, the magnifying glass, and you can type in Health and Wellness Center. It'll take you here. And then you're going to see everything that we have. My colleague Michelle has worked really hard on updating this website to get the information to students and to the employees about what we're doing. So there's a couple other things I'm going to show you since you gave me so much time on your agenda. That's awesome. Thank you. But I'm probably going to go over because I always talk too much. I'm going to show you something else here too before I go on to Timely MD. You see right here, we have a medical record system through our health center, very much like any medical record system that Kaiser or anybody else would have. And you can go to this patient portal here and you can set up an account and you can make an appointment with me or with my colleague Michelle to talk about a variety of things. Any health concern or mental health concern, you can go on there and make an appointment with us. And if we're not able to help you, and honestly, sometimes we can't, you know, sometimes there are things that we can't handle, then we will get you to the place where you can get that type of help. So please remember to take a look at that and encourage your fellow students to use that as well. We are getting some increased traffic there, which is great because at first we weren't getting any. And then also reminder to scroll down to the bottom of the page because this page was made before we went remote. And so things that were added were kind of added to the bottom of the page, which is not my favorite, honestly. But there are things down here for you to check out as well. So Campus Well down here is an online student magazine. It's a nationwide magazine for college students related to health, and it's excellent. So please click that link, follow it through, and you'll see all kinds of health topics on there from relationships to sleep, to study habits, to finances, really great stuff. crisis text line, we highly recommend that as well. You'll see this here. You may have seen, if you were ever on the campus, you saw these all over the bathrooms because I put them there. And if anytime someone has a mental health crisis, you can text 741-741 and get 24/7 immediate support via text, which is great because it's very private. And you can do that basically anywhere and people don't even know you're doing it. It's great, just like regular texting. Over here as well, if you ever need COVID testing, you can click this and it'll take you to the county testing sites. That there are free testing sites all over the Sacramento area. There's no reason for any of y'all to have to pay for a COVID test. So please take advantage of that as well. I did send Naomi also a list of free flu shot clinics. We couldn't get that on here for some reason. I don't know why. But there are free flu shot clinics going on all over the city for the next, I think, up to December. So again, you don't have to pay for a flu shot either. You can get them free. All right, I'll quit doing all my commercials and I'll get to Timely MD. It's just like, when you go on YouTube, you have to go through the ads. All right, are you guys still with me? Because I can't see you.
We're still here.
Okay, does anybody have any questions so far?
This sounds really cool. Are all the resources for free?
Yes. I know. It sounds like it's too good to be true. Sometimes I even think that myself, but that also feels really good. We really work hard to provide free resources. The contracts that we build as a group in the Los Rios Health and Wellness Services and up through the district, we use the money that we have from the student health fee to apply it in a broader sense. So these big contracts that we're signing, it eats, I'm not gonna lie about this, it eats up a big portion of our health fee budget that comes in, but it's also available to all students and it's free. So I am going to now take you, if you look over here on the side tab, you're going to see this campus.health by Timely MD. That's what it's called right now. Remember, later in the month, it might be called something else. But if you click on that, then you will come over to, is it this page? Yes. Can you see the campus.health by Timely MD? Can you see that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Sometimes on calls, the transition between tabs does not work very well, but I'm glad it's working today. Okay, so you can see by the description there, we've partnered with this, it's a vendor, they're a nationwide vendor. You can get 24/7 medical and mental telehealth care for all students. And it's funded by our health services fee. So you can see that on the descriptor there, whether you're feeling sick or overwhelmed, you can talk to a licensed provider from your smartphone or from any web-enabled device for free. And granted, they can't give you stitches, right? I mean, it's still telehealth, but if you've got health concerns and it's something that's similar that you would talk to a primary care physician, your doctor at Kaiser, for example, you can do this like pretty much instantly. The waits tend to be very short. Also, the Talk Now service is a mental health service. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, if your friends, your classmates are feeling overwhelmed, feel free to recommend this service to them. And so I went on this site last night and registered pretending that I was a student. And so you can click here, you can click here to get started, and you set up an account just like you would set up an account with Spotify or Netflix or anything else. Honestly, it was really easy to set up an account. And then you can choose whether you want a voice call, just a regular phone call or a video call. And there is a checkout. And at the end, I didn't go through all the way through that process because I'd actually have to talk to a provider, and I didn't think that would be appropriate. But here's the coupon code. It's right on here. And it'll ask you when you sign up, do you have a coupon code from your college? And you can just say yes. And it's ARC 2020. I have heard that when we get the new named product at the end of the month, that you won't even need this coupon code anymore, because your email will be connected with that service, so they'll know that you're a student. Okay, so I'm going to show you what you see when you get on there. Oh, these are the questions actually. So I wanted to show you this because any questions that you have, they'll explain it right up front, like how these things work. How does Talk Now work? They'll explain it to you. Things that you can access this service for, all different types of things. And I'll tell you, there's all kinds of explanations when you sign up. And if you read them carefully, they're really good, actually. And they tell you, you know, what the limitations of the service is. And it makes you feel a lot more comfortable. At least it made me feel a lot more comfortable in recommending it to you, certainly, with what you're getting into, basically. Can you use Talk Now for emergency situations? This is the mental health one. Yes, you can. But you can use, if it's not a crisis, you can still use it. So there's all kinds of information on there. You can actually even use it outside of the United States. It is accessible to individuals with disabilities. So we really want to encourage students to use this and increase the number of users that we have on this, because it's a great service. And we feel that it might be very difficult right now for students to access this type of care. So we want to have that available to you. And when you get in there, you can actually choose your provider too. You'll see all these pictures pop up of the providers, and you can roll over their pictures, and then you can read their profiles, and it's very diverse looking. I didn't go into all of the profiles. I went into a few of the profiles just to see what they look like. But just as far as ethnic, racially, it seems very diverse, male and female providers. So it seems like, from what I've seen so far, there might be something for everyone there if that matters to you in choosing your provider. And I think with there, I'm gonna stop, because again, I just said a lot of things. Oh, good, I can see your faces again. It's much better. Okay. So I just gave you a lot of information. And you're like, oh my God. Do you have any questions or?
How can we outreach to you, Pamela?
Oh, that is a great question, Urbis. Thank you for asking that question, because I usually say that like way up front. Okay, so the ARC Health and Wellness Center has a dedicated email box, right? Thank you for asking that. So I'll put it in the chat, but it's healthcenter@arc.losrios.edu. And Michelle and I, the two nurses, we staff that email box and take the questions and concerns that are coming in. You can also call the health center number, the regular number. I'll put that in there too, 916-484-8383. And we man the Skype connection on that too. So you can still reach us. We're still here. We're still helping students. There's some, just like in the health center though, and the brick and mortar on the ground stuff, there are things we can help you with. And sometimes there are things that we can't help you with, but we're usually pretty good at connecting you or helping you figure out even what you have yourself. Sometimes students have insurance, they don't know they have insurance. Sometimes they have their insurance card, they don't know how to access their provider. if you haven't had to do it before, then you wouldn't know how. And we really like to work with students when they're not in a crisis. Because when you're in a crisis, it's like the stress level for everyone is like up here. So if you're going to allow your college nurse to give you a little bit of homework, check out and see what health insurance you have. If you don't have any, go to SAC Covered. Go to the website there. They work with people connecting on healthcare navigation, connecting people to their insurance. And also, if you're not eligible for insurance, they'll still work with you anyway, connecting you with services. They're so great. They're like the best people ever. So I am going to put my information in here, and then you all can ask me questions if you want.
I just had a quick question about services on campus, because it sounds great that we have this health center. I was recently attending a tutoring training for the Learning Resource Center, and we were actually recommended to refer students who were struggling with anxiety, potentially to DSPS, but we were also recommended to refer them to counseling. So now I'm hearing we have this awesome health center that also has specialized services, and I'm wondering, who do we send people to for anxiety?
That's a great question, and what I would say to that is there's no wrong door. That's what my boss, she's a former Kaiser employee, and that's the kind of what they say, there's no wrong door. You can refer someone to counseling, to the counseling department, and there are many people in there that know how to connect students with resources. And if they don't feel comfortable, if they don't have that skill set, they just talk to us. We'll get to the same place. We're all on the same team. So it's okay to refer someone to counseling. It's okay to refer someone to DSPS if they're connected with that service, or if they want to be connected with that service, then a DSPS counselor can also talk to them about how to connect with mental health services. We all do very similar work. So there's really no wrong door there. If you want to come to the health center, fine. If you want to go counseling. And what we generally say too, if you're already connected with a cohort on campus, like if you're already getting services in DSPS, you have a counselor in the counseling department that you know pretty well. If you're an athlete, you go through the Dusty Baker Center. If you're in that kind of cohort, now we have those new home bases now. So you should all be cohorted, right, in some way. Then you might feel more comfortable accessing there, but if that counselor has questions, or they ask us, we all work together. We're all on email, we're on Zooms all the time. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
No problem. I'm so happy to see students. Oh my God. All I've seen is I love my teams, don't get me wrong. I love the employees, but I'm telling you, on our meetings, we talk about how we miss you all so much. Like, you're the reason that we do the work that we do, and we feel so, I might even start crying a little bit. We feel so disconnected from you right now. It's bad, so when we get to see your faces, helping you on the phone and stuff, that's good too. But when we get to see your faces, we're really happy. All right, so there's.
Go ahead, Oscar.
Hi. So first of all, I just feel so happy to hear that you guys are working with the students and you want the best for them. Also, I work in Mercy. I actually am working right now. So. And I was just wondering, are you guys gonna be in contact with Kaiser or Mercy just to promote this program? Because that would be great to actually have, that way we can help people that come to our clinics, and we can probably recommend this program if they are students, because sometimes we have patients that they don't have insurance, but they are students in any of Los Rios colleges. So I was just wondering, are you guys gonna be working with these companies to actually promote this, just in case, like as a background program? just in case they don't have like any insurance?
If I understand your question, and I think what we will be doing is promoting it, I've heard, very strongly within our student body and our employee body at Los Rios. So in theory, now this is a big theory and I'm going to ask you all for some feedback on this. Everybody should know this. This should not be a secret to any Los Rios student. We're not trying, there isn't a limited amount of this, okay? We've made this contract for everybody. Every student should be able to use this. And so there should theoretically not be a problem with students knowing about it. However, we are finding as the people who work in health and wellness that we think we're doing a lot of promotion and somehow it is not getting to you all. And so I would really like to continue this relationship a little bit more, if you don't mind. I would like to come back and say, hey, did y'all get that email? Do you even check your email? That's another thing. I've heard this is a rumor. You can tell me if it's true or not, that students don't check their email very much. Is that true or not true or kind of true?
It's true. We get a lot of emails. I get at least like 20, 30 emails a day.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's more than I get. I work here. That's crazy.
I'm setting up for a bunch of things, but going with the communications and stuff, maybe somebody from the current will be outreaching from you, perhaps myself. That's why I stayed on. So
great.
We'll look forward for that conversation.
You can put it in the current, that would be great. So if we want to promote to students, I check the social media outlets. There are not a lot of people making comments on those, on Instagram and Facebook, and I don't even think we have a Twitter, honestly, in the district. I don't know. But so how would you like to get information about health services? Or where would you get it, where it would like get your attention and say, hey, there's a new health service, I better go check that out?
Text messages, maybe?
Text. I know, see, I have a feeling that we might not get permission for that, but I'm going to say that because I'm going to say the students told me that. So I'm going to say that. Thank you very much. Who was that? David. Thank you, David. Text.
I also think you mentioned anxiety help or stress help and things like that. I think you'd get a lot of folks to be, and you mentioned that it's free too. I think you'd get a lot of students that would very much want to get help.
So if we have the title or the tag or whatever, you know, are like anxious, stressed, depressed, and put those right out there, then you think you'd get more, somebody would open it. Somebody would see that email and open it.
And mention that free too, because because some students might think it's not, and then it's just, to them, it's like, oh, I have to pay. I don't think I can do this. So you mention that's free, like they will pretty much be like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah, I love to put that in all caps on like the title of everything I send, because that gets people's attention, and it should, because it's hard to afford all this stuff and go to college. And I remember that time in my life very, very well, about how expensive everything was and how I struggled too to get through that, you know, working and going to class and stuff. So I get it. Free is good. All right, anybody else got anything? I need some.
One question for you, Pamela, before I sort of give suggestions. How many students do you have in your team who are comfortable with like doing, you know, either majoring in social media or comfortable with doing things like this? So do you have, any students who are sort of at social media savvy? Because I ask, given that at a time like this, a lot of internships have disappeared. So you can offer free internships, to students on campus who sort of are tech savvy, and then they could bring all these suggestions together and make it better. And my second thing is to build up on what every student suggested. In my opinion, you need to up your game in every single category. The reason the different social medias from school are not getting much comment is because, of course, on Instagram, the game has upgraded to the point that a lot of people are using different methods to post everything. So a simple poster with just a bunch of words in there, of course, it's not going to get the students' attention. You know, people are using Instagram live stories to make announcements. You know, even schools like Sac State are doing giveaway. Like, oh, hey, you get a little notebook or you get $50 gift card from the bookstore. Get involved. So that's why I mean that maybe the reason you're not getting much feedback on Instagram is because the items are, the material that's being posted doesn't grab attention.
Mhm.
And also within our school, there are so many social medias like ARC News, Student Senate, CAPE, and there isn't much organization between these groups. So I follow pretty much everybody, and then on the same day, everybody posts and reposts the same thing, and then you all go silent for like the next week. Whereas people who are getting attention on Instagram, on Twitter, on any social media that they are doing it constantly. Every other day announcements, every other day a cool poster. And that's why I started with, well, if you have any students on your team, or if you get 1 or 2 students on your team, then they can just go crazy with this and make sure that students are getting the announcements. Same with your emails. We are getting so many emails from professors in every single organization in school. In my opinion, you need to do more than put everything in chat. As I said to one of my professors, you guys need to be able to do, maybe include some memes in there in your body of email, or GIFs, or I said it wrong, but everybody knows what I'm talking about, or just a little 30-second video that you don't have to upload to Google, but just instead of people reading 2 paragraphs of information, and most of my friends are just zoning out halfway, it's like, hey guys, make sure to read this email. It's information about your health, free on school, bye. So that's what I'm trying to say, is everything is, students are going through electronic burnout. So you need to bring out your game and do things so that students can't not look at it. And all you need is a bunch of students to see something and then tell other students, wow, that was so cool, go check it out. So sorry it was too long, but that's my 2 cents, that you need students who know how to handle social media and just give it to them and let them go crazy.
I don't think that was too long. I think that was exactly what I needed to hear, honestly, because we don't have any students on our team, first of all. So that's problematic. And then we make our social media posts through the public information officers, basically. So ARC News Today, and then all the other colleges, because all the health and wellness people are working together now in the district, because there's only a handful of us. We have like 12 people for the whole district. And so we try to make the most of what resources are available to us as far as getting information out there. But I totally understand what you're saying, Efsoon, because something's not working. So we got to figure out what's not working, and getting your feedback as students to say, we get 30 emails a day. We're not going to open that. We need to know that, because we think we're doing a lot, and maybe we are doing a lot, but it's not having the impact that we want to have. And that's what we have. That's what we need. We need the students to be able to see it and use it.
Right.
Before we continue on this issue, we're going to extend the time for this topic for another 10 minutes, okay?
I told you I talked way too much.
No, you're fine. You're good.
Okay, so, and I'll try to wrap it up. I'm sorry. Thanks for keeping me in check. So that information is very helpful to me to communicate to others, because we're just like, people keep saying, we don't know, we didn't hear anything about it. Like Naomi said, I didn't know about this. And I'm like, we've been putting this out there for months. And so it's frustrating, but it's because we're not doing something right. And so we need to understand what we're not doing right and do it the right way.
Right.
Go ahead.
And like I said, given that your audience is mostly students, again, you'll be doing students a favor by offering internships from within the school, because students don't have to look for outside organization. They don't have to do background check on the organization. If the system can create, if the entire district can create, 4 positions, 1 from each school, or however many from students who are comfortable with social media, again, given that students know what other students want from different age categories, they can start playing around with it to the point that they get, some feedback back. And given that you already have trouble outreaching, I know at Sac City, the Office of Planning, Research, and Institute is called PRIE. I'm not sure what's it called in ARC, but they can even help you out with sending out, whatchamacallit, like forms or surveys out to students saying, well, how do you like to get the material? And then you can go on from there. But like I said, best recommendation is if you're selling to students, selling an idea, get the students that they can tell you how to package it. Sorry, I keep losing.
That's okay. I think I get what you're saying for sure. And I really appreciate your feedback, because there's nothing worse than asking people for that feedback when you're really sincerely trying to do something and then not getting anything, you know? So I do appreciate your candidness and telling us.
Oh, Pamela, your sound cut off again. I know, Oscar, you wanted to ask a question or make a comment, right?
I agree with you all, guys. This actually is really, really great. I think it can make a big difference. Yeah, even it can save a life if someone needs medical attention. Sometimes I guess the best thing for this kind of like programs to do would be making a campaign that way we can promote it, because like I said, it could save lives. Sometimes people, because they don't have insurance, they don't really care about like how their health is going because they don't even have an insurance. So having this service in school for free, it could make a big difference. So I would agree with you guys, if we can promote this as a little campaign with videos and all that. I mean, it sounds like a lot of work, but like I said, it could save lives in the long term. So I just hope you guys have more ideas that can make this actually go big, because it can save lives.
And so would it be okay if I came back like in November to another meeting after the media push, because there's supposed to be a media push. I'm not privy to what that is going to look like right now. But with the media push, if I come back after and I'm like, and if I could get some feedback from y'all and say, okay, did you see this? What do you think worked with this? You know, we get the data about how many students are using it and what they're using it for. De-identified data, we can get that from the vendor, but the student experience part of it is something that we can't really get from them. We need to get that from students. So is it okay if I come back? Okay. All right. They're like, oh man, I want to get out here early. It's Friday. Pam keeps talking.
Thank you so much. This was really helpful. Okay, sorry, we have to move on. Okay, our next item under new business is student professor review resolution.
Hi everyone, me again.
Need a motion.
I move to approve this resolution.
Seconded.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve this resolution. Jacob, as the maker of the motion, you get first chance to speak.
I'm gonna share my screen here really quick. So basically what this resolution does, it says, whereas it's our duty to ensure that students have easy and available methods of giving frequent and secure feedback regarding their professors to the proper authority. Students rarely, if ever, get a chance to communicate their feelings regarding a class to administration. I know specifically for myself, I've only reviewed one class my entire time I've been here, and frankly, I feel like there needs to be more opportunities for students to, you know, give their voice regarding a class to ensure that they're giving the highest quality classes possible. Whereas creating a course in Canvas would allow for the resolution of the two aforementioned issues. Whereas creating a better method of feedback doing the aforementioned could allow for a safer way for students to give feedback and will help create a more equitable environment on campus. So therefore, be it resolved, the American River College Student Senate actively advocate for better methods for students to give feedback to administration regarding their professors or other officials. Be it further resolved, ARC Student Senate advocate for a method of filing grievances to be built into the same place so that students have an accessible and safe way to talk about the issues faced in class and beyond, whether it be in remote or in-person learning. Be it further resolved, the preferred method for implementation of such a tool will be via Canvas so that all students have easy access to the tool. Be it further resolved, the American River College Student Senate advocate for this tool to be implemented on the district level so that all Los Rios students have the ability to safely and frequently communicate concerns. And so basically what I'm trying to do here, I wanted to write this resolution so that I could take these concerns to the Chancellor's Cabinet and, see if there is some way to present this and see if we could maybe get this issue resolved. I think it'd be fairly easy to just have a course set up in Canvas where at the end of the year students can provide feedback, and then they have that that plethora of data that they could go through and possibly make courses better. I think it is a shame that students can't really talk about their issues, especially in today's environment. I mean, I think this ties into the whole social equity fight as well. Students face issues in classrooms that professors might not think are a big deal, but the students, it might have been very hurtful to them. So this would also give them a way to air those grievances and talk about some of the things that they've experienced in class that they can then, give back to the administration and possibly have the issue resolved. I know I attended many of the SSCCC town halls, and a lot of the issues were like, I was in class and, for example, one person said they mentioned something about Black history and their professor laughed at him. So this would give them a path to talk about that to administration and have that worked out easily. I know there are pathways, but I'm just saying this would, make it easier for students to do that, as well as, review the classes at the end of the year all in the same place.
Thank you, Jacob. Does anybody else want to say anything about this? Sasha, I see your hand. Go ahead.
I think that's a great idea because, with online learning right now, it's like we kind of need to give feedback. It's not in-person learning anymore. So I feel like we also have to be like, this isn't working for us, because we're also trying to get through this. So great idea. Thanks.
And Stacy, I think you have a question, right? Yes.
I do. Thank you, Chair. I was just wondering, I do think this is an excellent idea, by the way. We definitely need something like this. In terms of faculty role on campus, I wanted to know if this would apply only to classes or also to club projects over which faculty sometimes advise in isolated situations without oversight from other faculty members or from their deans for that matter.
Chair, may I respond? Okay, so I believe if it were to be set up correctly, there would be an area for people to just respond with general grievances. So I believe that would fall under that category. That makes it in there. I don't know. I can't really, control it because I don't have the ability to set up the course, and ultimately it'll be up to administration, but I will definitely advocate for that if given the opportunity.
Jacob, do you have a vision for how you see this being set up?
Not particularly. I believe that if I were to do this, what I would do is first need to advocate for it, to some of the administration, say this is something we could do, we could make this easier, try and find the right direction to take this project in so that we could, talk to the proper authorities and get this set up so that they have the information that they need to make the campus and the courses better.
Thank you.
Naomi, a couple things real quick to think about.
Go ahead.
So for those of you that may or may not know, so if you do have like a grievance against, a faculty member or whatever, something happened in class, there is a channel for that. So the former dean that oversaw ASB is now doing that. So Joshua Moon Johnson is overseeing the grievance process. One suggestion I might add is to take this to Academic Senate. I can't speak on the ins and outs of faculty and whatever, you know, is in their contracts and all that stuff. Academic Senate would be able to. So I think presenting this to Academic Senate with your concerns or your worries, I think you'll have more input on how, you know, they might be able to assist, promote, you know, how, whatever that might look like. Just something to think about. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Just some things to consider.
That's a really good point, Jacob. That's a really good point, Brett. Okay, any other questions, comments, concerns for Jacob? Okay, hearing and seeing none, we can move on to a roll call vote to endorse this, to pass the resolution. Amy, if you could do a roll call vote for this. I want to be clear, if you're voting, a yes vote is a vote in support of this resolution. A no vote is a vote not in support of this resolution.
Okay, so President Naomi.
I don't think I'm allowed to, no, I'm not, I don't vote for this kind of thing right now.
What about Ramses?
But yeah, you have something to say about that?
Oh, before Ramsey's vote, sorry. So the chair can only vote to create a tie or in order if there is a tie. So that's the only time the chair can vote.
Oh, okay. So Vice President Ramses.
I vote yes.
K President Mark.
Yes.
Can I ask Jacob?
Yeah.
Okay, Jacob.
I vote yes.
Director of Activities Amon.
Yes.
Directors of Communications Amy. Yes. Senator David.
Yes.
Senator Soule.
I vote yes.
Senator Rachel.
Yes.
Senator Reed.
I vote yes.
Senator Mary Stacy. Sorry.
Yes.
And Senator Mary Kay.
I vote yes.
Senator Beheshta.
I vote yes.
And Senator Afsoon.
I vote yes.
Okay, so that's.
Sorry.
That's 12 yeses.
Okay, the resolution is passed. Woo! Stacy, I see. Sasha, I see your hand up. So, do you have something to say about this?
Can't vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. Senator Sasha.
Sorry.
Oh, and then Oscar, I'm sorry.
I'm here, yes.
Okay, now that's 14 yeses.
Awesome. Okay, then the resolution is passed. Awesome. Resolution is supported. Moving on to committee reports. Is there anyone from the Student Senate who wishes to make a committee report? Okay, Mark and I were at, I'm looking for my notes from the meeting, but Mark and I were at the executive leadership team meeting this week. As a reminder, that's a meeting with all the deans and the presidents from the different senates and the president from the campus, Thomas Green. So a lot of it was about the redesign plan for just the honestly, it's a very big process. They're really working on the accreditation system right now, and the accreditation system, I don't know how familiar everyone is with it. I can tell you, I am not. I am far from an expert on the accreditation process, but it is. I can say that it is kind of an evaluation of like, oh God. Okay, no, I can't say anything about this anymore. Nope. But you go. You go.
Sure. So if you're speaking about the accreditation process, so that's through WASC. It's Western Association something college. I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically what makes your diploma or your classes legitimate. So it's not just like someone teaching you physics out of their basement.
Raj.
There you go, Jacob. So there's a whole process you have to go through, and I think each campus has to get accredited every 6 years, I believe, or maybe 7.
6, 7, not important.
High school it's 6. Colleges might be different, but they have to go through everything, right? The auditing of classes and completion rates. They go through, you name it, they go through it. So that's what Naomi's speaking on.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's right now the big the big thing that's happening right now, and they recently changed up the accreditation process. So they used to write this big report, like really big report that they need to fill in, and the accreditation process was recently changed. So they're kind of getting used to that new system right now. Yeah, and those are really the big things. There's this redesign plan that they're eventually hoping to bring to constituency groups, the constituency groups on campus. So that's like student senate, academic senate. And then, the discussions about the accreditation process, which eventually will require student input on. So that's coming too. Anyone else wants to make a committee report? I don't think any student senate committees met this week, but hopefully representatives to some of the outside committees have gotten to meet recently.
Yes, I would like to make a committee report.
Go ahead.
So earlier, like 2 weeks ago, we met for the student success and equity committee, and we over a period of time kind of voted in on certain chapters that work group chapters that will be starting. So let me put it up real quick. So after compiling the votes, it was announced that we will be having the advanced education work group, the call center work group, and as well as the digital equity work group. But we haven't really had since we're only meeting once every month, so we kind of individually voted and tallied it up. But when we're meeting on the 19th of October, we'll kind of like settle it and reiterate it. But for now, it has been voted on.
Thank you. Thank you, Mary Kay. I'm glad you're able to make your meetings. That you've been given access even. Anyone else? Jacob, I know you went to, I don't remember when the last chancellor's, I think that was 2 weeks ago. I don't remember if you got to report on anything there. And then you have, remind me, chancellor's cabinet meeting next week.
I believe so. No, I don't. It's every 4th Monday. So I had one, I did make a little report on it. Basically what happened was we did a check-in on what's been happening since the pandemic, what's been working well, what hasn't, how to improve. Mainly it was just the faculty and staff talking about what they've done and what's worked for them. And I reported saying that we appreciated all the communication that they were doing, and that the communication is key, and nothing we do could be done without the help of other faculty and staff. So I thank them for that. And yeah, mainly just focused around communication and what was going on between faculty and staff. So I wasn't that involved.
Thanks for the report, though.
Myself and Rasmus are also on the Student Success Committee, if I say it right. We've been attending for the past month, so far we've been in 2 meetings. I'm still working on the minutes from the last one, but the general report from these 2 meetings have been is that, of course, they are looking into hiring more diverse community of professors in order to have those professors represent the diverse community of students to lead to better success. However, they have identified that without providing a community and an environment for these professors to succeed in, of course, everything is going to fall apart. So they're working to make sure that the system and the community is up to meet the challenge. I've also brought up the fact that, again, just like in this meeting, if they can create internships with the district's IT department for the students, because again, they are also having trouble doing outreach. So that's something that they're looking into to see if they can talk with the IT department of the district to create internships for students from the computer tech department. And as of last meeting, they are looking at different files and forms that are available to both students and professors. And they're making sure to upgrade the system or begin working on upgrading the systems and forms, like the late drop form, late add form, and anything else like that, in order to make it both accessible on the website to the students, but also make sure that students know how to use them. And if there are anything wrong with these forms that's making them less user-friendly, they were going through that to make sure that they are addressed and fixed. So this is just a nutshell of the 2 meetings that we were in, but that's the report. And again, sorry for the background noise. I'm in a warehouse right now.
Thank you, Afsoon. I don't know if anybody else has a committee report. I can say that Student Advisory Committee will be meeting next week. Brett sent an email about the Board of Trustees. Student Advisory Committee meets right before the Board of Trustees meeting. So that will be with the other 4 Student Senate presidents from the different colleges and with Tony, our student trustee. Okay, if there are no more committee reports, then we will move on to board member reports and announcements. Does anybody want to make a board member report or announcement?
Yes, Chair, may I be recognized?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to bring something forward, and hopefully I'll do it in 2 minutes. Again, through volunteering with the City on Great Plates Delivered program, I sort of have connections with about 45 restaurants in town. Since you're talking with other students, basically I brought the proposal to the manager from this end, the city manager who is working with all these restaurants, that if they are willing to work with just any students or any student organization, will the restaurants be willing to sort of start a partnership where we could help them set up Zoom meetings? And by we, I mean anybody. We could help them set up Zoom meetings where they could do tutorials on one of their foods. We sell the tickets through Eventbrite, and then at the end of the day, we collect some percentage. Currently, he's working with 45 restaurants, and he just liked the proposal. He said, write the proposal and tell me what type of benefit the restaurants would get and how would you guys benefit from it. And he's willing to pass on the information to the restaurants. But like I said, I'm working with a couple of different student organizations of different levels, so I don't know who wants to be participating in this, but I just wanted to bring it out to you guys that if it's something that you guys like to be part of or like to collect some money at the end of the district or at the school, this is one avenue in terms of basic needs that could be available to us, either working with restaurants to get some food or working with restaurants to get some money out of the ticket. But I just wanted to put that out there as an idea.
Thank you, Afsoon.
Chair, I have a report.
Go ahead, Stacy.
So I've been participating in the Applied Allyship Series with Jesus Valle, who's the coordinator for the Native American Resource Center at ARC. And I'm hoping that this semester, as I participate in this series, that I'm going to be able to help coordinate, perhaps put together, work on a resolution maybe, to establish a sort of stewardship project at Kohler Creek behind American River College. Because geographically, ARC is actually in a really unique position to lead in wildlife restoration. And we've actually already got a department on campus doing that, natural resources. So I'm really hoping that we can bring together a few different pretty cool things we have on campus and maybe make a big push for student-led stewardship, specifically Indigenous student-led stewardship, and make American River College the lead in wildlife restoration in Northern California.
Wow, that's really amazing. Honestly, wow. Definitely want to hear more about that in the coming meetings. Okay. I sent an email earlier this week, I think it was yesterday, about tech needs. If you guys can look at that, let me know if there are any different tech needs that are tech barriers that are keeping you from being effective in your job in Student Senate. Then, you know, please let us know. Really, this is a really, we want to hear from it. Okay, sorry, I'm a little bit tired. I know, sorry about that, guys. Okay, any other board member report or announcement?
Yeah, I have. So about the voting information, the SAGES, they create more flyers about the voting information. A student can find this information at CLND page and Instagram. I don't know who ran the Senate, the ASB Instagram. If we can like share those information at the ASB website or on Instagram, that will be helpful.
Oh, okay. You know, that's great. To answer the other thing, right now who's running the Instagram is myself, Brett, and Mark.
Yeah, so perfect,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, that applies for anybody. Anything you guys want to see on the Instagram, you know, reach out to us and we can talk about that.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Baheshta.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other? Go ahead, Sasha.
Chair, so Pride in STEM was awarded a $600 grant for club funds, and so we're really excited and happy for that because we want to use it for like a speaker next month, and because we're having a guest speaker come on, and then we're also doing like game nights and other online things for this semester. So I'm just very excited for that.
Thank you, Sasha. Okay, any other board member reports or announcements? Congratulations, by the way. I think someone said they wanted to do it, but I didn't catch who. Nope, okay. If there are no other board member reports or announcements, we'll move on to public comment. This time is reserved for members of the public to address the Student Senate on issues not already appearing on the agenda. A limit of 2 minutes per speaker shall be observed with a maximum of 4 minutes per topic. No discussion is allotted on public comment. The law does not permit any action to be taken nor extend discussion of any items not on the agenda. The ASB Student Senate may briefly respond to statements made for questions posed. However, for further information, please contact the ASB Student Senate President for the item of discussion to be placed on a future agenda. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to make a comment? Okay, hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to adjournment. This meeting, if there are no objections, this meeting will be adjourned at 11:51 a.m. Okay, hearing and seeing no objections, this meeting is adjourned. Woo.
Naomi, can I ask you, Jacob, and Mark to remain on the call regarding something unrelated for just a minute?
Hang on, let me pause this.